When I returned from Norway, the first thing I craved was the sound of my Mustang roaring to life. But the driveway was empty. Duffel bag still in hand, carrying the scent of cold air and machine oil, I froze. The car was gone. I figured maybe Dad had moved it for safekeeping while I was away. Then he appeared, coffee in hand, not even pretending to be surprised. "I sold it," he said as if announcing the weather. "Helped your brother with his beach house." And that smile, casual, self-satisfied, cut deeper than any words. "Be grateful, son. You finally did something useful." I didn't shout. I didn't move. I just stood there watching him sip coffee, then walk back inside, leaving me in the ruins of disbelief. Minutes later, the phone rang. That was when everything began to unravel. Dad had always called me his pride. The one who took charge, who never backed down. A soldier, a hero. But now I was just a complication. My brother Ethan, the charming, reckless, useless golden boy, always excused, always favored. A beach house for him, financed by my hard work. Theft disguised as generosity. I didn't let my anger show. That was a luxury I couldn't afford. Control was everything. That night I went to my old room. Everything was untouched, except my most precious belongings. My medals, my photos, even the nameplate on the door, replaced. My room now belonged to Ethan. The message was subtle but intentional. I had been erased. I stared out the window where my Mustang once sat. That car wasn't just metal. It was my first victory, earned with sweat and care, every bolt and brushstroke a piece of me. And he sold it like trash. Something snapped. The next day I started gathering information. Soldier's work, methodical and precise. I found the bill of sale. Dad had underpriced it by half. Ethan's name was on the deposit. The car went to a collector named Charles, just a town away. Perfect. I didn't want to steal it back. I wanted them to feel what I had felt, the sting of losing what they assumed was theirs to control. Step 1. Ethan. His Party Palace beach house, funded by my car, was hosting a weekend celebration. I made a call to an old contact. Anonymous tip. Suspicious activities, unlicensed renovations, shady financials. Enough to trigger an investigation, enough to disrupt his world. Step 2. Dad. The man who thrived on control, the perfect image of a wise patriarch. I dug through years of secrets, offshore accounts, hidden debts, dubious deals, all packaged neatly, ready for the right hands, tax authorities, business partners, and finally Mom. The morning came. I sat at the kitchen table, calm, eating eggs as Dad read his paper. Then the first call came. His face shifted. Confusion, panic. Another call, another, then Mom walked in holding the evidence. Her eyes, cold and sharp, locked onto his. I spoke for the first time since returning. "Guess they found out who took my place." His eyes widened. What did you do?" "Nothing," I said. "I just told the truth." By evening his empire had collapsed. Accounts frozen, partners pulling out, Ethan's beach house crawling with inspectors. His carefully constructed world, built on favoritism and deceit, crumbled. That night I went to Charles's garage. The Mustang gleamed, untouched. I told him the story. He paused, then nodded. "I'll sell it back for what I paid." I wired the money immediately. The engine roared to life like it had been waiting for me. I drove through the night, headlights cutting through darkness. No guilt, only clarity. When I pulled into my driveway, Dad stood outside, the house behind him dark. Mom gone. Ethan unreachable. Silence. I stepped out, leaving the engine running. 5 minutes, I said. 5 minutes was all it took for the world to balance. He didn't respond. He didn't have to. He finally understood. I didn't go back to Norway. I didn't need to. My final battle was over.